Awesome sauce. So when we lie down at first, you might just cactus your arms out to the side. You might just let them open out in a giant T shape, whatever allows you to feel like you can just have this opening across your chest. And then with regards to your legs, they can be long and straight, or they can be bent. And we'll just take the first few moments here to just breathe. So if the knees are bent, let the knees knock in. And then you'll just breathe into the collarbones, into the shoulder blades, into the armpits, and into the upper back. And just notice what happens as you inhale and consciously send the breath into this part of your body. And as you take the next 2 to 3 breath cycles, you'll just continue to inhale into the chest, the upper ribs, and then start to invite an exhale from the low belly. So the space below the belly button, drawing that in and up. And you'll just take one more steady breath there, noticing that the breath is one of those actual awe-inspiring things. When we start to pay attention to it very intentionally, we can see its little nuances and differences. And keeping your arms out in this cactus shape, walk your feet so they're hip distance apart. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, flex through your right foot, and then draw your left thigh towards your chest, keeping the hands on the floor as they are. And you're just going to take 3 to 5 breaths here, noticing that maybe you can press the right ankle against the left thigh and kick the left thigh into the right ankle. Notice how flexed that right foot is and the left foot is. And you'll just see how the breath is now in the collarbones and in the shoulder blades. As you exhale, lower just the left foot back to the floor. Perhaps slide the right ankle a little further down the left thigh. And then you'll try that one more time. Exhale, draw the left thigh towards your face. You might open the left knee out a little bit or press the right ankle against the left thigh a little bit more, but just notice and pause and breathe and see what's happening in the body now. And then on your next exhalation, gently release the left foot back to the floor, release the right foot next to the left, and pause and see if you notice anything different between the sides. Our momentary check-ins are an opportunity to experience the magnanimousness that's all around us all the time. All right, let's switch sides. Cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh, flex through that foot. And then exhale, draw the legs in towards your chest. And again, as you're here, you're just breathing into the collarbone, seeing if you can keep the shoulder blades glued onto the mat, any tension out of the jaw or the throat. Flex through that left foot a lot, pulling the toes back to your left knee. Yep. And on your next exhale, gently release the right foot down to the floor. Maybe slide that left ankle a little closer to your pelvis. And then retake the position, drawing the right shin in, pressing the left ankle into the right thigh, and then noticing what's happening here. We've got 1 to 2 more breath cycles here. And on your next exhalation, gently release the right foot. Gently release the left foot next to it and swim your arms down alongside your hips. Keep your feet about hip distance apart. And then if you have anything underneath your head, go ahead and remove that now. And then inhale, sweep your right arm up and overhead. Let it touch the floor behind you. And then exhale, lower the hand back alongside your pelvis. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, swim your left arm this time up and overhead. And exhale, lower the hand alongside the pelvis. And this time, both arms. Inhale, swim both arms up and overhead. See if the arms touch at the same time, and then exhale, hands back to hips. So you'll keep that arm pattern and we'll just add in the legs. So inhale, push through the hips, or push through the feet, lift the hips, lift the right arm up and overhead. And exhale, lower the hips and lower the right arm. Then you'll inhale, push through the feet, lift the hips, lift the left arm. And exhale, lower the hips and lower the hand. And this time, both hips, both hands. Inhale, push through the feet, lift the hips, lift the hands. And exhale, lower the hips and lower the hands. We'll repeat that whole set 2 more times. So inhale, push through the feet, lift the hips, lift the right arm up. And exhale, lower the hips and lower the hand. And then when you're ready, you'll switch sides. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the left arm. And exhale, lower down. And then inhale, press through the feet, lift the hips, lift both arms. Yep, and exhale, lower all the way down. Now, as you take this third set on your own, see if you can lift the hips at the same rate, even though one arm is lifting. And see if the hips can descend at the same rate, even though one arm is lowering. Aha, nice job. And then you'll repeat that as you switch arms. Both hips rise at the same time, and both hips descend at the same time. Awesome sauce. And then your third set, you'll just push through the feet, lifting both hips, lifting both arms. And then you'll exhale and lower all the way back down. Take a moment to pause there. Walk the shoulders up towards the ears just a bit and underneath you. And then inhale, bend the elbows so the fingers point up. As you exhale, push down through the elbows, and inhale, push through the feet, lift the hips high. Once your hips are high, you might extend the hands underneath you. You might walk the shoulder blades underneath you and interlace the hands. Wherever you are, let's see if you can push into the head a little bit more and then find space at the cervical spine around C7. So the space roughly at the top of the shoulder blades. Wrap the upper arms underneath you a bit more. Yep. And then press through the pinky toes to lift the outer hips. Now, as you've got about 3 more breath cycles here, can you continue to focus on breathing into the chest, into the collarbones, into the shoulder blades, into the back of the body? And then exhale lightly, drawing the navel in and up. And you've just got 2 more breath cycles like that, really focusing the energy into the heart space. And then evacuating things from the navel. Last one, big breath in. And big breath out. At the end of the exhalation, untuck the hands, untuck the shoulders, and bring the pelvis back down to the floor and pause. Just notice what you notice momentarily. And then very gently, you'll hug both knees into your chest, but keep your arms on the floor. Arms on the floor. Yay, buddy. Okay. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, flex your feet, and extend your legs up to the sky. And then exhale, hug the knees into the chest, arms back down to the floor. And you just got 4 of these. So inhale, straighten the legs, flex through the feet, arms reach up. And exhale, bend the knees, arms fan down. 2 more times on your own. Inhale, flex through the feet, reach through the fingertips. And exhale, belly to spine, hips to heels, or sit bones rather. All right, and this last one we'll go ahead and hold. So inhale, reach the arms up, reach the legs up. As you exhale, draw the pubic bone to the navel to the spine. Continue to reach up through your heels and your big toe mounds as you reach out through your fingers. And you've got 2 more breath cycles here, just breathing into the collarbones with the inhalation and exhaling from the navel. Last breath cycle. And as you exhale, knees will come into chest, hands will swim down alongside the floor, and you'll plant the feet on the floor. Take a moment to pause and notice what you notice. And then we'll go ahead and extend our right arm over our head, roll over onto your right side, and come onto your abdomen. Awesome sauce. When you find yourself on your belly, go ahead and swim your arms back so they're alongside your hips. Turn the palms to face down. And then just a few sets of these to activate the backs of our legs. You'll inhale, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, flex the knee, draw the heel towards your bum. Inhale, reach back through the leg, point through the toes. And then exhale, lower the leg down. And we'll do that on the left side. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee and flex the foot. Nice job. Inhale, point through the foot, reach back through the leg. And exhale, lower the leg down. So we'll do 4 sets of these. You might inhale and lift your head up as you lift your leg up. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lift higher as you reach back through the foot. And exhale, lower everything down. Other side, inhale, lift the leg and maybe the head. Exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, reach back through the foot, lift up through the heart. And exhale, lower down. 2 more sets on your own, maybe with the head or without the head. But just observe what's happening here as we're starting to fire up the back body. Noticing if you can still keep a sense of deep connection to the breath. Yeah. Nice work. Last set. And you're just noticing what you notice as you move in and out, seeing if you can keep those legs parallel as you flex through the foot. Yep. And reach back. Awesome sauce. After your last set, you'll go ahead and just pause. Press down into the tops of your pinky toes and your big toes. Lengthen your tailbone back. And then start to shrug your shoulders up to your ears and draw your shoulder blades onto your back. Now, as you inhale, you'll start to push your fingertips down to the floor to reach your sternum forward, and you might start to walk your hands a little wide. From here, continue to press down through the tips of your pinky toenails and big toenails, lengthen back through your tailbone and scoop the navel in. From here, you might bend the elbows a little bit, you might hover the arms a little bit, and you might interlace the hands behind your low back. But you've got 3 breath cycles here. And see if you can continue to press down through the tops of the feet as you lengthen back through the length of your legs. And if your arms are away from the floor, think of lifting your under armpit forward and up. Yeah, there you go, to lift the chest a little higher. Nice job. Next exhale, lower all the way down. Plant your hands alongside your lowest ribs. And then inhale, come up to hands and knees. From here, make sure your knees are about hip distance apart, tops of the feet are on the floor, and inhale, lower the belly, gaze forward. Exhale, press back to that modified child's pose, emptying the belly, pushing hips to heels, bending the elbows as you go. Inhale, come forward, hands and knees, little baby cow shape. And exhale, tuck the toes, hips high, downward facing dog. As you inhale, you'll come back to hands and knees, little baby tabletop or cow shape. And then exhale, press back to that modified child's pose. So that counts as 1 set. You'll take 4 more on your own. And I encourage you to maybe start to play with the breath. Maybe the breath is now 5 count inhalation, followed by a 5 count exhalation. One of the things that I'm starting to pay attention to in my own life and my own practice is how I can allow patience and perseverance to be a practice of bhakti, meaning as things sometimes take longer than I would hope, that just being diligent in the effort, doing the best that I can as I'm going through it, might be a form of devotion, might be a form of that greater love and trust in something that's bigger than me. And so as you continue to just move with your breath, noticing what it feels like to gradually perhaps lengthen your inhalation and lengthen your exhalation. Finding that as you come in and out of shapes, there is something that remains constant, like Roberta's sun rises, but there's also something that changes each time, just like the sunrise. All right. Next time you find yourself in downward facing dog, you'll go ahead and stay there for about 3 to 5 breaths. And so you're just continuing through your little cycle. And the next time you're in down dog, you'll hang out there. And you might get there before someone else, and that's okay. And you might stay still, or you might slowly bend one knee and slowly bend the other. You might observe what happens as you shift your bum right to left, like a happy dog wagging its tail. But again, you're just finding a sense of awe. Our bodies are pretty impressive. They do all these crazy things for us, often without us needing to think about them too much. For me, that's definitely an indication of something bigger than self. All right, let's go ahead and come to a still neutral point. And then inhale, gaze to your hands. As you exhale, just walk your feet forward about halfway. And then walk your hands back until your hands meet your feet. Awesome sauce. All right, inhale, slide your hands up your shins, lift your spine parallel to the floor. And then exhale, bend your knees as much as you need to send your pubic bone back behind you. Yep. From there, draw your shoulders away from the ears and slightly draw your chin in towards your sternum as your sternum reaches towards your chin. Great. Next in-breath, bring your hands to your hips. Exhale, navel to spine. And inhale, slowly come up. Awesome sauce. All right. Once you're vertical, go ahead and turn to face the long edge of your mat. I highly encourage you to put a block towards the top of your mat and a block towards the back of your mat. But you do whatever the heck works for you. Awesome. We're first just going to find a little bit of breath and rotation before we add on some crazy stuff. Okay, so open your feet about 3 feet apart, arms parallel to the floor. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, you'll bend your left knee and draw your right hand to the left foot as best as you can. Left arm reaches up. Inhale, come back through center, both arms parallel to the floor. Exhale, hands to your hips, slide down the backs of your legs and fold all the way in. You'll inhale and draw your spine back up to vertical, arms parallel to the floor. And then exhale, bend your right knee, left arm reaches over towards the right foot. As you inhale, you'll come back to center, arms parallel to the floor. And then exhale, hands to your bum. They slide down the backs of the legs down towards the floor. And then inhale, come all the way back up, arms parallel to the floor. So we've got 4 sets of these. You'll exhale and go over towards the left, bending the left knee and noticing just gently by paying attention to the breath, you might get a little bit deeper into each subsequent shape. Hands to your bum, they slide down, your legs you fold in between the whole of your legs. And then inhale, come back up, flat back, arms parallel to the floor. And exhale over to the right, bending the right knee, planting the left hand, twisting to the right. And inhaling back through center. Exhale, hands to hips, fold all the way back in. Inhale will draw you back up, arms parallel to the floor. And then you've got 2 more sets on your own. So exhaling to the left, bending the left knee, maybe drawing that hand a little bit closer to the outside edge of the left foot. And then inhaling back up to center. Hands to the bum, slowly folding in, flat back. And then you'll inhale and slowly come back up. And then repeat on your own. And I encourage you to notice how you can elongate the breath. Next time you come up and both arms are parallel to the floor, pause. Okay, as you exhale, bend the left knee, take the right hand over to the left side of your body. Maybe it comes outside of your left foot. Maybe it's in front of your left foot. Pause. Make sure the hand is underneath your shoulder. So you might need to draw your shoulder more towards the left. Keep the left, or rather right arm straight. Draw the low part of the right low back in towards the twist and reach up through your left arm. Now you've got 3 breath cycles here. Think of the twist coming by evacuating the belly on the left side, emptying the abdomen, and then that allows more of the right low back to come towards the left. Reach up a little bit more through your left hand. There we go. Next in breath, come up through center. Exhale, hands to bum, slide all the way down, and we're not going to stay in this one just yet. You'll inhale and come straight back up. And then exhale to the other side, bending your right knee, planting the left hand, maybe outside of that right foot. And then you've got about 3 to 5 breath cycles here. So Erica, lift your right arm more towards the sky instead of back behind you. So it might need to come forward. Yep. Sandy, do the same. Draw the belly in on the right side, reach up through the right arm. And then see if you can take in a deeper breath. Roberta, empty the right low belly a little bit more. So the shoulders can stack a little bit more easily. Nice job. Next in-breath, come back up through center. And as you exhale, hands to your hips, slide all the way down and pause. Now, once you get down in this time, just notice if you feel like there's a little bit more spaciousness in your hamstrings. And you'll just pause and breathe and notice how things change. They're constantly changing. All right. Inhale, turn to face the top of your mat. So your left leg is forward, low lunge, or Roberta, you're the opposite, so that's okay. Or you could do that, cool. Go ahead and pause here for a moment. See if you need to wiggle your back foot back just a little bit so you have a little bit more space. Draw your outer left hip back, and then you might lower your right knee down to the blanket or floor, whatever works best for you. And then bring your spine all the way up to vertical. Bring both hands on the top of your left thigh and just interlace them. And you're just going to inhale and pulse your pelvis forward, and exhale, shift your weight back. And you're just noticing what's happening in the front of your right thigh as you do this. Seeing if you can stay connected to that breath coming into the chest, into the heart, and exhaling from the navel. Okay. The next time you inhale and pulse forward, you're going to pause. You can choose to stay here, push down into your front foot, push down into your back knee, suck those points together, or you might reach your right arm up and overhead. And again, we're trying to draw our front low belly in and up so we can find a fun stretch happening across the front of our right quad. And you're just going to pause and you're going to breathe and maybe see if you can lift the collarbones up so the gaze comes up just a smidge. On your next exhale, lower the hand, straighten the back leg and come to a low lunge. Straighten the front leg, turn both feet towards your, your left. Turn to face the side of your mat. Turn to your right, there we go. And then face the back of your mat with your left leg forward now. Lower your back knee down and pat it if you need to, and then bring your spine up to vertical. So now your left leg is forward, or right leg is forward. And then hands are just on the front thigh. Back knee is down on the floor, and you'll pulse forward and back a few times, just paying attention to what it feels like on this side. Seeing if you can continue to breathe as you move forward and as you move back. Awesome sauce. The next time you come forward, go ahead and pause. Push down into your front foot, push down into your back knee, and you might extend your left arm up and overhead. And you'll just pause. You'll notice that you can continue to lengthen your tailbone down, reach up through your left fingertips, and maybe find a lift through the upper left part of your chest, your collarbones. Awesome sauce. Next exhale, lower your hand down to the floor, frame your front foot, tuck the back toes under, straighten the front leg long, and turn to face the long edge of your mat once again. Awesome sauce. Just notice if anything feels different now on this side or this set. Okay, turn to face the top of your mat. Prepare your feet for triangle pose. So step your back foot in. You might bring a block underneath your left arm to the inside edge of your left foot. And then draw your right hand to your right hip. Pause here first. See if you can square your hips to the floor. See if you can reach your crown forward and your pubic bone back. And on your next exhale, start to twist the abdomen towards the right to stack the right shoulder on top of the left. Yep. From there, reach back through your right arm. Turn your palm to face up. And then inhale, rainbow your arm up and overhead, maybe fingers or gaze follows fingers. And exhale, swim the arm back, rainbow it back, navel pulls in. And you've got 4 of those. So inhale, rainbow the right arm up and overhead, maybe you follow your fingers. And exhale, rainbow the arm back, drawing the navel in, twisting the spine. Yep, you've got 2 more. Inhaling, rainbowing the arms, seeing what's happening on your left lateral side body on the right. And exhale, drawing it back. Awesome sauce. Last time, inhale, reaching the arm up and overhead. And exhaling, drawing it back. Pause here. Inhale, bend your front knee and come up to warrior two. Now notice how much of a different stance you had to take between triangle and warrior two. In Iyengar land, those are the same feet positions. Isn't that crazy? Next in-breath, bend your front knee a little bit more. Reach forward through your left hand and plant your left fingers on the floor and the block, or maybe you draw the left forearm to the top of the left thigh. Reach back through your right fingers. And then this time we're going to take the opposite action. So inhale, pizza slice, your hand across the horizon, up and over your head. There we go. And exhale, swim the arms straight back. And you're just noticing what feels different here. So as you take this 3 more times, you're just following your breath. Noticing there's a sense of consistency. We're stretching the side body, but there's a bit of variation with how we're doing it in the shoulder joint. Awesome sauce. Last time. The next time your arm is up and over your head, you'll pause. Just take 3 breath cycles here. Draw the left low ribs under and forward, right ribs back, and maybe peer underneath the right armpit a little bit more. Great job. Next inhalation, come up to warrior two. And as you exhale, you're going to have to remove that block. Go ahead and straighten your front leg and turn both legs so they're parallel to the long edge of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips and they might stay there, or you might interlace your hands at your low back. Roberta, bend your knees just a little bit. Yep. Inhale, heart and sternum lifts. And as you exhale, fold all the way in. Prasarita Padottanasana. And just observe how the hamstrings are now and how it feels with the hands behind your back here. Awesome sauce. Go ahead and draw your hands to your bum, slide them down your legs, and then turn to face the back of your mat, low lunge, right leg forward, left leg back. And then just pause here. We're going to get ready to take triangle. So how do you need to step that back foot in, and how do you need to prep that front foot? Yeah, nice job. Bring a block to the inside edge of your right foot. Draw your left hand to your left hip. And then first things first, let's lift our spine parallel to the floor. Draw your outer right hip back. Yep, and as you exhale, start to push down through that right hand, rotate towards the left by pulling the belly in on the left and maybe stacking the left shoulder on top of the right. Yeah, then reach back through your left hand, palm faces up. Inhale, rainbow the arm up and over your head. And exhale, rainbow the arm back, navel draws in. And you've got 3 more sets on your own. And you're noticing if you can continue to draw that outer right hip back just a bit more, Erica. Other back, there we go. And you're just paying attention. How does this feel on your side body, especially the left near the hip and the ribs as your left arm goes up and over your head? You feel a nice little stretch there. Long, steady breaths. Good job, guys. The next time your left arm swims back, you'll go ahead and stay there. Inhale, bend your front knee and come up to warrior two and see how it went on this side. Yeah, nice job. See if you need to make any adjustments in the length of your legs. And on your next in-breath, reach forward through the right arm, lower the right forearm to the top of the thigh, fingers to the floor or the block. Extend that left arm back behind you. And then little pizza slicer, inhale, swim the arm forward. And exhale, sweep it back along the horizon. And you've got 4 of these. And again, you're still working to see how long and steady that breath can be. Legs are super active. Breath is very consistent. It's very interesting, but by being very diligent in our practice, we are practicing devotion. I was very excited when my teacher alluded to that because I was like, I don't experience it this way. But the meticulousness with which you're each breathing and paying attention to what's going on is a form of devotion. Next time that left arm is overhead, you'll pause and you'll just take 3 breath cycles there. How can you push down into your back foot a little bit more? Reach up through your skull and maybe lift your right ear a little bit away from the floor as you lean back the head just a bit. Nice job. Next inhalation, come up for Virba 2. Yep. As you exhale, you might need to remove that block. Straighten the front leg long and turn both feet in so they're parallel to the short edge of your mat. Once again, hands come to your low back, interlacing the fingers. Draw the shoulders up towards your ears, draw the shoulder blades onto your back, and keep the elbows slightly bent. Next in-breath, heart lifts, and as you exhale, fold all the way in, emptying the belly here. Great. Notice what you notice. How are the hamstrings? Next in-breath, see if you can come up halfway, keeping the hands as they are. As you exhale, hands to your bum. Hands to your bum. Here we go. And inhale, come all the way back up. Now turn your heels in, your toes out, bend your knees and pop the squat. Hands might just rest on the tops of the thighs, and we've got about 3 to 5 breath cycles here. As the hands are on the tops of the thighs, maybe you lock out the arms. You can find extension through the spine. As we take the next 3 to 5 breaths, you can take whatever arm variation you'd like. So maybe your hands come to heart center. Maybe you take a little gentle twist in the spine. Maybe you do none of the above, but really paying attention to how your body is feeling and responding in that moment is an act of devotion. It's an act of trust that the impetus that you're experiencing and the fact that you've all been practicing for quite a bit of time has given you a certain level of awareness. All right, you got one more breath cycle here. On your next in-breath, push through the legs, stand up, reach up, look up. Hooray! And exhale, arms open out. So let them just dangle by the side. And just take a moment to pause and breathe. If you're feeling at all dizzy, lift the sternum and lower the chin and just take 3 breaths, noticing what you notice. Awesome sauce. Either step or hop your feet together. And then let's turn to face the top of our space. And you'll stand at the top of your space, feet hip distance apart. And then bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, fold at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right leg back, step your left leg back, plank pose. Take a big steady breath in here. Take a big steady breath out here. Lift the back of your head away from the floor just a bit. Yep. Inhale, shift your weight forward. And as you exhale, slower than you want to, lower all the way down to your belly. Slower than you want to, slower than you want to. Everything touches at the same time. Nice job. Once you come onto the floor, extend the tops of the feet onto the floor, and you'll inhale, pull your heart forward and through baby cobra shape, or as high as you wish to come. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale to tabletop or plank, your choice. And then exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Nice, Roberta. Take a big breath in here. Keep lifting through your inner armpits and lifting your hips up and back. Yeah, there you go, Sandy. Next in-breath, gaze to your hands. And as you exhale, travel to your hands. Nice work, guys. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way in. And inhale, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. And exhale, hands through heart center. We'll do that one more time, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your left leg back, step your right leg back. Take a breath in here. Take a breath out here. Next in breath, shift your weight forward. And as you exhale, slower than you want to, keep the heads lifted, lower, yep, all the way down to the floor. Once you touch, you'll inhale and slowly pull the heart forward and through as you reach back through the toes, coming to cobra as high as you wish to. Yep. And exhaling, lowering all the way back down. Inhale through tabletop or plank. And exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Great. And you just got 3 breath cycles here. Notice what you notice. This is a shape that we do every single practice, but how is it different in this moment? That sense of awe comes from really connecting to the idea that everything is always the same and yet always different. Okay, put that on or move on. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. As you exhale, knee to nose, very mindfully step that foot to the floor. And then you might want to pad your back knee if your knees are sensitive as you lower your left knee to the floor. Great. You might choose to stay here happy as a clam. You might walk your left hand slightly to the left and bring your right hand to the top of your right thigh. If you're doing that, push down through your left hand a lot till your left armpit lifts up. Start to empty the belly on the right side and rotate your chest towards the right, stacking the right shoulder on top of the left. You might stay there or swim your right arm back, bend your back knee, and grab the outside edge of your back foot. And then you can take a moment to pause here. Maybe you point your left foot, maybe you flex your left foot, maybe you draw the heel to your butt, maybe you kick it away. Pay attention to where the sensation is on your left knee, seeing if you need to internally rotate that thigh just a little bit or a little external rotation. And then you've got 3 more breath cycles here, noticing whatever is happening in the back of your right shoulder blade, drawing the shoulder blades onto the back and leaning your head back just a smidge. Oh, buddy man. Awesome sauce. Very mindfully, if you've got your back foot, you'll release your back foot, frame your front foot, and shift your weight back and straighten that front leg long. Pull all 5 toes up towards your face and then see if you can flatten your back. So maybe you might not be close towards your shin, but your heart is reaching forward and head is reaching out of the center of your heart. Nice job. Great. Next in-breath, shift your weight forward. As you exhale, extend the back leg long and step back, downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Slowly come forward and slowly release that foot to the floor. Then lower your back knee down to the mat. And maybe you walk the right hand over to the right just a bit as the left hand comes to the outside edge of the left hip. First things first, push down into your right hand, push down into your left foot, push down into your right knee, and start to empty the belly on the right side. And then maybe you'll stay there or swim the left arm back. Maybe you'll stay there, maybe you'll bend the back knee and grab the outside edge of the back foot. And again, you've got about 3 to 5 breath cycles just to explore. Does it feel better to point your foot? Does it feel better to flex the foot? Does it feel better to kick the foot away from the pelvis or draw it close? And then notice what's happening in that left shoulder blade. How can you allow the shoulder blades to come onto the back so the heart reaches forward and leans back? Yep, there you go, Erica. And then just pause and breathe and notice what you notice. Nice, Roberta. And then very gently, you'll release that back foot, frame your front foot, shift your bum back, straighten your front leg long, and just pause and breathe here. And again, the impetus or the focus here is seeing if you can make your back body as long as possible. So spine straight, yep. Left leg straight, left toes pulling back towards your left knee. And then notice your breath. How's that going? Awesome sauce. Next in breath, shift your weight forward, plant your palms. As you exhale, straighten the back leg and step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 breaths. Erica, push down into your left hand a little bit more. Yep, and see if you can lift both hips up and away from your waist just a bit more. A little more. There you go. Gently lower your knees to the mat. And you might want to pad your knees as you come to stand on your shins. Okay, so you can stay facing this direction if you've got the space. Otherwise, you might need to turn to face the long edge of your mat. But step your right foot out to the right. Make sure your right foot is in line with your left knee and your right toes are pointing out towards the right. And if you feel like you need to, you might want to block to the inside edge of your right thigh, but you'll inhale and lift up through your left arm, and then exhale, little side bend. You can always just walk the right hand down the right shin, or you've got the block there. But you're lengthening the tailbone down on the left side. You're inviting the right low ribs forward and under, and reaching out through your left fingertips. Awesome stuff. Next in breath, you'll go ahead and come back up to vertical. You'll step your right leg in to meet your left, and then step your left leg out towards the left. Make sure your left heel is in line with your right knee, and make sure the right hip stays over the right knee. And then the block might come to the inside edge of the left leg, but you'll inhale, sweep your right arm up, and exhale, start to crawl down the left leg, maybe coming onto the block. Tailbone lengthens down, left low ribs come under, right ribs stack on top. Nice work, guys. Next inhale, come back up. And exhale, step the left leg in. And we'll take a momentary pause and toe squat. So you'll walk your knees, shins, and ankles together, tuck both sets of toes under, and just take a moment to sit back on your heels. You can bring your hands behind your low back and interlace the hands here, or if you'd like, do a little bit of Garudasana, shoulder flossing. We'll be here for about 10 breath cycles. So you'll notice if you're doing this flossing motion with the eagle arms, that after about 4, you need to switch sides just to make sure you have equal amounts of breath per side. And I think you should have about 1 more set if you're doing the little pulsy doos. Once you complete, you'll open your arms. You'll come forward, hands and knees, tops of the feet to the floor. Happy little pitter patter of your toes if you'd like. Or conversely, just shift your weight back and take a counter stretch, lifting one or both knees up and away from the floor. Okay. I'd like us to get to dhanurasana. So we're going to skip ustrasana. So just come directly onto your abdomen, stack your hands right on top of each other. A little crocodile pose, or like heads up, 7 up. And you'll just take 3 to 5 breath cycles here, just noticing what you notice. How is the belly distending into the floor? What does that create in the low back? What does that enable in the low back? Awesome sauce. Go ahead and swim your arms back so they're alongside your hips. We're going to do that very same thing we did at the very beginning of class, just to make sure the back body's prepared for this. So palms will face down towards the floor. You can take this time to draw the shoulders up towards the ears and draw the shoulder blades onto the back, and either keep the head down the whole time or lift the head up. It's totally up to you, but you'll inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the heel towards your bum. Inhale, send the foot back, lifting the thigh a little higher, maybe lifting the head a little higher. And then exhale, lowering everything down. And you'll do that on the other side. So inhale, left leg lifts. As you exhale, bend the knee, draw the heel to your bum. Inhale, reach the foot back, lift the thigh higher, maybe lift the head higher. And exhale, lower down. You've got 2 more sets on your own. And you're just really paying attention to how this is feeling in your body. One of the interesting things I'm attempting to play with is that sometimes doing things that feel good is a sign of that divinity, that sign of that greater energy. For Sandy, running in the park seems to be one of those things. He enjoys being out in nature. Erica enjoys watching her little people become their own people. And Roberta finds the magnitude of life in just simply observing a sunrise every day. and how it changes and transforms, just like each of us is changing and transforming. That is very cool. That's Bhakti, if ever, well, as I'm currently thinking about it. Okay. After you've completed your last set, we'll go ahead and pause. Press down into the tops of your feet first. Lift up through your inner thighs and lengthen back through your tail. Next in-breath, make sure your fingertips are facing towards the floor, but you'll push down into your fingertips to draw your sternum forward and lift your head up. As you exhale, you might walk the hands a little wide and bend the elbows just a bit as you press down into the floor with the feet a little bit more. Great. Next in-breath, reach back through your toes so much that your legs float up and away from the floor. And as you exhale, bend your knees and draw your heels towards your pelvis. You might then reach back and grab the outside edges of your ankles. And then keeping the pelvis glued to the floor, you might kick back through the legs, lift up through the inner armpits, the front of the chest, and pause and breathe. And as long as you can continue to lengthen your tailbone back and lift up through your big toe mounds, you might find, yep, a little bit more lift in the chest. And as you're ready, you'll gently release and lower onto your abdomen. Bring one ear to the mat and just pause. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. And I wanted to focus on dhanurasana today because apparently it is good for all the doshas. It's helping us digest the aspects of life that we need to digest and assimilate the aspects of life that we need to assimilate so that we can see that sense of awe in everything. We can experience a greater fulfillment of bhakti in whatever way feels best to us. All right, switch ears if you haven't already. And you'll just take another few series of breath cycles here. And as you're here, I'd like to invite you to notice what you find exciting about being in your body in this moment in time, or being in your life at this moment in time, or being in the world at this moment in time. It's those momentary pauses and reflections that give us the greatest opportunity to reflect and thus, experience that magnanimousness of life. All right. Extend one of your arms over your ears. Roll over onto your backs. Loop. That's always funny to watch. And then you'll just take a moment to pause. Go ahead and open your arms out into a giant T shape. Bend your knees if your legs are straight. And then you'll push through your feet, lift your hips up, slide your bum over to your right, and put your bum back down. And then supine twist of your choice to the left. So maybe you take eagle legs, maybe you take a cross, maybe you extend one leg down, or maybe both legs come together, but you choose whatever works for you. And you've got about 5 to 10 breaths here. And as best as you can you allow the unwinding, even though you're winding the physical body, but can you allow the unwinding of the body to happen from the internal space? So meaning your belly and your organs feel like they're rotating towards the right, even though your legs are rotating to the left. And then noticing how you can soften any tension around your right shoulder, your right armpit, your neck. And just allowing things to soften as they open. We've got one more breath cycle here. And on your next in-breath, you'll gently come back up through center. Take a moment to pause in center, hips under head. And then when you're ready to try the other side, you'll push through the feet, lift your pelvis up, slide your bum over to the left, and let the legs fall over to the right, and whatever variation supine twist you'd like to take. And then as you check in on this side, notice what's unique about this side. What's the gift about this side? How is this side its own unique entity, person, being? How does it reveal to you some of the beauty that is nature, the constancy, and yet the change? And you've got your last breath cycle here. And gently, you'll inhale and come back up to center. Now, when you come back to center, go ahead and bring your hips under your shoulders. Make sure they're in line with your head, and then walk your feet outside of your hips and let your knees knock in. From here, you might hug your arms around your torso. And then rest the elbows on the chest, rest the elbows on top of each other. So there's not effort happening in the arms to keep the arms here. There's not effort in the legs to keep the legs here. And you'll take a few breath cycles again, just as we started. So breathing into the heart, into the collarbones, into the back of the body, the front of the body. And exhaling from the belly button into the spine, spine into the floor. And you'll just take 2 to 3 more breath cycles like that, noticing what you notice. I think it's very interesting that as we practice bhakti more, we become more compassionate with ourselves. We become more devotional to the things that really help fill us up, that really help us change perspective and mind and thought and action and energy. And the fun thing about it is that it's not a one and done type of thing. It's a consistent and at times a gradual process, just constantly tuning in, pausing, reflecting. So as you're in this pause and this reflection right now, allow yourself to notice if there's something else that might feel really awesome to you at this moment, that might be the most compassionate, generous, gracious, loving thing you can do to your body. And by all means, go ahead and explore those shapes or that shape. And noticing that as you do that, this is helping us practice that sense of devotion, that trust in something higher than ourselves. And when you feel complete doing whatever it is you happen to have been doing, please make your way to your final resting pose, whether that's constructive rest, shavasana, supta baddha konasana. It's totally up to you. But allow yourself to come into a shape that feels fully supported for you. And as you find yourself in your final shape, we're going to end our practice with really taking a moment to notice first how the body is feeling, how it's supported by the things beneath it, the props, the floor. And because it's supported, we can let go of any muscular energy that we don't need in this moment. And then you might begin to observe that by allowing yourself to soften a bit, let go a bit, that breath, that inner vitality that each of us has becomes a little bit more fluid. And the Kriya that we'll work with today is every time your body breathes in, I want you to experience, whether that's through seeing it, feeling it, sensing it, energy moving into your heart space. And you'll hold that energy there for a beat or two. And then exhale, send that energy lovingly to every part of your body. So as the body breathes in, energy awareness draws into the heart space. You gather it there for a beat or two. And then as you exhale, you lovingly send it in every direction of your being, forward, backward, up, down, right, left. And you'll just continue that on your own. So just inhaling, spiraling energy into the heart space. And exhaling, disseminating that energy to every cell of your being. You'll continue on your own, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Gently release the technique and just allow yourself to check in, to notice what you notice. If there's any part of you that longs to linger here for a few more moments or a few more breaths, by all means, please do so. When you are ready to move, you'll invite small movement into your physical form. And if you are in movement, start to make your way to your right side and pause. Gently draw yourself to a tall, comfortable seat. And when you're established in your seat, please sit as comfortably and as well as you can, stacking your head over your shoulders over your hips, letting the heart still radiate forward through the gates of your arms. And then for today, we'll end by just planting our left hand on our heart space. And then plant your right hand on top of your left. And you just take 3 to 5 breaths here. Taking a moment to really say a sense of gratitude or prayer of gratitude to this organ that's beneath our hands. It really does wonders every day, pumping blood, pumping oxygen, allowing us to feel connected to those around us, allowing us to feel inspired by nature all around us. Okay, we'll go ahead and draw our hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light within me honors and salutes the light within each of you. Namaste.